All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'm going to be your yoga instructor today. So, welcome to week 10 of this Yoga for Pregnancy series. I'm super excited to have you here. If you've been along with me for the journey, welcome back. And if you're new to this series, welcome. As I've stated before, a lot of these classes are kind of mix and match. So, sure, this is week 10 yoga, but depending on where are at in your pregnancy and your ability level, you can always mix and match these classes. I also want to welcome in any of the spouses, partners, other support people, or fellow family members, even if they're little ones who are joining for yoga today. I'm sure the expecting mother is very happy to have some support on this journey. So, this class is designed just to get you into your body, help you feel good in it as you move through this whole developing a human being thing. So, as we go through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries. Notice, are you ready to extend into postures? Where do you need to modify and come down to the mat, or perhaps just hang out in that center posture? Also, keep in mind, I don't often cue water, and we're certainly supposed to be drinking a lot of water these days. So, if and when you feel thirsty, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed or they can be straight out in front of you. You can be up on a prop. I'm sitting on a block on its low side that helps lift the hips and makes it a little bit easier on the low back to sit up nice and straight, nice and tall. But you can also be down on the mat. And then go ahead and find a comfortable spot for your hands, whether on the knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. And we're actually going to start this practice with a breathing practice. So if you'd like, you can place a hand on your belly, a hand on your heart to deepen your connection with your baby or babies if you're expecting multiples. If you'd like, you're welcome to close your eyes or simply find an unmoving point and soften the gaze. And take a moment here to connect with your breath. Just notice its movements. Now, on the next inhale, imagine that you're inhaling all of the love that you have for your baby. Now, on the exhale, imagine that baby is exhaling all of the love it has for you. Inhale, love for baby. Exhale, baby's love for you. Inhale, gratitude for baby. Exhale, baby's gratitude for you. Inhale, connection to baby. Exhale, baby's connection to you. Inhale, joy for baby. Exhale, baby's joy for you. Inhale, excitement for baby. Exhale, baby's excitement for you. Inhale, love for baby. Exhale, baby's love for you. Taking a few more breaths just like this and inhaling whatever it is that you would like to offer baby. And on the exhales, imagine that baby is offering that right back to you. After that final exhale, you're welcome to release your hands down to your legs or your lap. As you take a moment here to set an intention for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale as you feel that intention with your heart and your mind. Then exhale that breath out, setting the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Gently opening the eyes if they're closed, go ahead and set your prop off to the side and out of the way, coming right onto the hands and knees. So hands come beneath the shoulders, knees come beneath the hips, tops of the feet come to the floor. Good. On the next inhale, look over your left shoulder and then scrunch your left shoulder and hip toward one another. Shrug your right shoulder up toward your right ear, getting a nice side body stretch on the right side. Take a breath here, and as you inhale, really feel those ribs expand outward. Notice the breath here. Deep inhale. And then exhale, come back into center. On the next inhale, look over your right shoulder. And then exhale, scrunch the right shoulder and hip toward one another. Shrug that left shoulder up toward the ear, feeling that pull through the left side body. Taking a nice breath here. And as you inhale, feel that expansion through those ribs, the pull through that side body there. Another deep inhale. And then exhale returns you back to center. Plant your left hand in the center of the mat, kind of right below your face here. And then on the next inhale, sweep your right arm tall, reach up toward the sky for a tabletop twist. Check in with the hips if they're jutting out to the right. See if you can keep them in line with your knees, rotating through the spine as we take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, thread the needle. Lower that right shoulder to the floor. Side of the head comes down to the mat. Your weight is in your shoulder and your knees, not your head. Your head is just very gently resting down. We're feeling a nice pull through the outside of our right arm, getting a twist through the spine. Left arm is here on the mat for support. Couple breaths. Good. Plant your hand on the mat. Press into the mat. Inhale, sweep that left arm tall or right arm tall. Exhale, sweep it back and down toward the mat. Inhale it forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forward and up. And then exhale back down to the mat. Good. Press that right hand to the center of the mat beneath your face. On the next exhale, rotate toward the top of the room here with that left arm, tabletop twist. Notice if the hips are jutting out. If they are, bring them in line with the knees. Focus on rotating open through the spine. Take a full breath here, deep inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, lower that left shoulder down to the floor, side of the head comes down to the mat here. Good. So again, weight is in the left shoulder and in the knees, not in the head. Head is just gently resting down. We're feeling a pull through the outside of that left arm now. Good. Taking a nice full breath here. Deep inhale. Exhale, press into that right hand, sweep that left arm tall, reach toward the sky. Good. And then on the next exhale, sweep that arm back and down. Inhale it forward and up. Exhale back and down. Inhale forward and up. And then exhale down. Great work here. Plant those hands beneath the shoulders once again. Tuck the toes on the next inhale. And then on the exhale, press back into your down dog here. We're going to go ahead and walk our dog, bending one knee and then the other, opening up the backs of our legs. Take a nice deep inhale. A nice deep exhale. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, lower those heels toward the floor. Take a full inhale here. And then exhale, go ahead, drop the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the head and the hips coming into cow. Exhale, press the mat away, feel the shoulder blades separate, coming into cat. Inhale into a nice deep cow. Look up toward the sky. Feel that decompression, the low spine. Exhale into cat. Look back toward your knees. Feel that opening through the upper spine. Inhale back into neutral. Tuck the toes. Exhale into down dog. Don't walk it this time. Just take a nice full breath here. Good. Inhale, look up between the hands. Baby step those feet to the top of your mat. Come right into a halfway lift. So knees are slightly bent. Torso is parallel at the floor. Back is nice and flat here. Good. Hands can be on thighs or shins. Gaze is toward the floor. You're long through the neck. If you've got a big belly already, if you're further along in your pregnancy, you might want to widen your stance so there's some room for the belly and baby here. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, sink into a forward fold. Tuck the chin, look back between the legs. Knees are slightly bent. We're not locking out the joints. Maybe nod your head yes. Maybe shake your head no. Maybe roll your head in one direction, then the other. Good. Coming back into stillness, inhale, bend those knees gently, or deeply, I should say, and then reverse swan dive. Sweep those arms all the way up toward the sky, bringing them together, and then exhale, hands come into heart center. Lovely. Feet are about hip width distance apart. We're going to drop our hands down to either side of our body, palms facing forward. Good. Our shoulders are shrugged down. We're reaching up through the crown of the head while we simultaneously reach down through our feet. It may be helpful to roll back and forth, heels to toes to heels, to help yourself feel grounded in all four corners of your feet. Good. And then come into stillness when you're ready. Knees slightly bent, drawing up on the quads. Torso or tailbone is slightly tucked. Torso is nice and long. Core is engaged. You're welcome to close the eyes for a moment. Take a nice full breath. Another deep inhale. Good. Gently opening the eyes, releasing that position. We're going to work on a little bit of balance today. If you've noticed as you've gotten into your pregnancy, your balance is off, I invite you to find a stable surface like a chair or a wall that you can use to help make sure that you don't fall and don't have any injuries today. You can take this as far as you'd like, take those modifications that I will suggest as you need. And just remember, it's a practice. Nothing needs to be perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and start with tree pose. We're going to ground into our left foot here, knee is slightly bent, and then we're going to draw our right heel to the top of the ankle, ball the foot on the mat. Hands can be at heart center or on the hips. So you're welcome to stay right here, moving that right knee back so the hips are nice and open toward the top of your mat or toward the front where your torso is facing. Next option, sole of the foot can come to the inside of the calf or the inside of the quad, but just not your knee joint. We don't want that lateral pressure on that all important joint. Wherever you are, hands can be on the hips or they can be at heart center. Now, if you like, you're also welcome to grow the branches of your tree, reaching up and out here, spreading those fingers, lifting up through the torso, shoulders shrugged down here, noticing your balance, whether it's with you or not. Maybe it's a little breezy wherever you're practicing today. Oh, it's breezy for me. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And if you step out like I do, that's okay. Just find yourself stepping in one at a time into the position that you want to be in. Another deep breath here. Exhale, release that foot and arms back down. Shake out that left leg as you need. Great work here. Now, it's always interesting when we do balance to see which side feels a little easier or more difficult. So, coming onto the opposite side, plant into that right leg, knee is slightly bent. Bring the heel of the left foot to above the ankle and ball the foot on the mat here. Again, you're welcome to stay here, moving that left knee back so the hips are squared with the direction that you're facing. You can also bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the calf or the inside of the quad, totally up to you, just not on the knee joint. We don't want that lateral pressure on that knee. Again, find the position that feels best for your hips here or for your leg here, your arms. Notice what feels right. Whew. And again, if you'd like, you're welcome to grow the branches of your tree, reaching up and out. It can help with balance. Good. If it's helpful, find an unmoving point, soften the gaze, kind of stare off at it, and that can aid in in your balance here. Take another nice full breath. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, release those arms and hands. Nice job. Shake out that leg. Great work. All right, we're going to come into our warrior three now. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me a little bit easier. So we're going to ground down into our left foot here, knee is slightly bent, and we're going to extend that right leg straight out behind us. We'll start with our hands on our hips. Hips are squared toward the front of the mat. Now, you can take this as high as you'd like. Notice where you are at today, and you can always use a counter, the back of a chair, back of a sturdy surface to help you with this as you need. Even a wall will work, okay? So we take a deep inhale, we lengthen through the spine, and then we hinge at the hips, and it's like our torso and our leg are connected. As one goes down, the other goes up in synchronicity here, coming into our warrior three. Now, you're welcome to stay right here. You can reach your arms out to the sides. You can have them at prayer position, or you can extend them straight out in front of you. This is a nice little bit of back muscles work as well as core work here. Notice what feels right. Press through that back heel as those toes point toward the floor. Good. Knees are that front knee is slightly bent here. Woo, we're feeling the burn. Take a nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Inhale and exhale, release, coming back into center. Great work. Let's go ahead and shake out that left leg, releasing that foot and that leg, getting those muscles a little bit loose there. Balance is a challenge, right? That's why we're practicing it. So coming on to the opposite side, we'll ground into our right foot here now. Again, knee is slightly bent and we extend our left foot straight out behind us here. Hands can start on the hips, or if you prefer elsewhere, it's totally up to you. Some people like to have them up because it helps with the hinging, but again, option, not requirement. So deep inhale lengthens us through the spine, and then exhale, hinge at the hips, lean forward here, coming into your warrior three on the opposite side. So again, hands on hips, out to the sides, maybe at heart center, or extended straight in front of you. Flex that back foot, press through the heel, toes are pointing down toward the mat. Woo, we're feeling that burn in the right leg. Deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, release, coming back into center. Great work. Let's go ahead and shake out that right leg here. Really nice job. All right. I'm out of breath. I don't know about you. I'm in the stage of my pregnancy where like I cannot breathe very much anymore, even though I'm not doing much. All right, we're going to come into our wide-legged stance. So if you're not on a round mat, you might want to turn to the long side, okay? So we're going to come into a wide-legged stance that feels comfortable here, a bit wider than your shoulders, right? We're going to inhale as we lengthen through the spine, and then exhale as we hinge at the hips, lean forward with the heart center, keeping that back flat as much as possible here. Now notice how my chin stays level with my chest. So I'm not looking up or down, but instead I'm keeping my neck nice and flat. Knees are just slightly bent. Now you can use a prop like a block underneath the hands to support this opening as you think about rotating those hips back and up. If you don't need that, great. Hands can come down to the mat. And again, keeping that back as flat as you can, a very slight bend in the knees. And then looking back between the legs as you start to get closer to the ground. Good. Keeping that nice long spine, reaching through the crown of the head. Deep breath. Inhale. Good. And then inhale, go ahead and bend the knees enough so you can plant the hands on the mat. I'm going to turn to the front so you can see me here. And then we're actually going to bend deep into our right knee, walk our hands over to the right and sink down toward the heel, coming into speed skater stretch. If you need, you can always have props under the hands here. You can also place a block underneath your seat if that's going to help you here with the legs, with whatever your body is able to access today. Okay. So sinking down toward that heel. And then if you can, rotating those left toes toward the sky. So we're getting a nice deep stretch to the inside of our left leg. Good. Looking up toward the left here, lifting through that torso. Good. Getting a nice deep breath here. Excellent. Go ahead, lean forward onto the hands, press into those hands, lift back up into center, walk through that wide-legged forward fold, bend that left knee now, keep that right leg straight, sink all the way down toward the left heel, coming into speed skater on the opposite side. So again, rotate those right toes now toward the ceiling, lifting the torso, looking up off to the right here. If you need, use a prop like a block underneath the hands or the seat if you want some help with accessing this posture. No shame in that. Notice what your body needs. And then feel that nice deep stretch to the inside of that right leg now. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Good. Let's go ahead and lean forward, plant into those hands, walk yourself back into center into that wide legged stance here. Good. And then we're going to bend the knees a little bit deeper than we did for wide legged forward fold. Bring those hands onto the hips and then inhale, come back up into center. Great. So, with our legs in a wide-legged stance, we're in the perfect position to transition into our goddess star pose. So, we're going to take our toes and point them outward as much as we can. So they don't have to be perfect, but we want them pointing outward instead of straight ahead like they normally are when we're standing, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sink into our hips here. Ooh. And then we're going to bring our arms up into right angles here. So welcome into goddess pose. We're sinking down, feeling that opening through the inner legs, through the pelvis here. If this is too much on the arms, you can always have your hands on the knees. Good. Take a nice deep breath here. Let it go. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Go ahead and extend those legs. So straighten the legs, then straighten the arms coming into star pose. Lift the gaze, look up toward the sky. Take a full breath here. Let it go. Deep inhale. And then exhale, sink back into your goddess pose. Nice and deep, bending those arms. Inhale, coming back into your star. Lift that gaze, straighten the arms and legs. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Good. Inhale, star. Exhale, down into goddess. Drop those hands onto the knees. You're going to lean forward slightly. I'll turn to the side so you can see me a little bit better. We're leaning forward slightly. Now drop your right shoulder down, turn your gaze over to the left side. As you dip that shoulder, feel that rotation through the spine. Ooh, feels so good. Nice deep stretch to the inside of that right leg. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, drop that left shoulder down, look over the right shoulder, pressing that left knee away, feeling that stretch to the inside of the left leg. Nice twist through the spine. Good. Inhale, back into center. And then go ahead, press into the hands and knees, lift yourself up. Great work. Let's go ahead and step to the top of your mat here. Inhale, sweep those arms wide and up. Exhale, swan dive down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, knee slightly bent, flat back, torso parallel to the floor. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back into a tabletop position here. Send those knees a little bit wider than your hips, and then exhale, sink back into a child's pose. Elongate the arms. Forehead comes down to the floor. Let's take a breath. Full inhale, full exhale. And then inhale, let's go ahead and come up onto hands and knees. Make your way into a seated position. We're actually going to come straight onto our backs. So if you need a towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or a jacket. Now is the moment. We will not sit up for practice. And keeping in mind, if you're further along in your pregnancy or it's not comfortable, you can come just down onto your side and kind of rest in the fetal position for this final part of our practice. Okay? So coming down onto your back, tuck the knees into the chest, wrap those arms or hands around the legs, tucking them in. Hands can also be on the knees if that's more comfortable. Maybe rocking from side to side, maybe moving your knees around just to get a little bit of a massage of the low back here. I don't know about you, but mine has been very, very sore since I got pregnant. Good. And then coming into stillness, drop the soles of the feet down to the floor. Knees are in little mountains. So, few options for final relaxation. You can stay right here. This is a great option. Your knees can open wide, soles of the feet can come together, coming into reclined bound angle. You can extend one leg or the other for fallen tree or both legs. If you like to come into traditional final relaxation, find a comfortable spot for your arms, whatever that looks like for you. You're also, of course, welcome to just lay on your side, maybe kind of in that fetal position, using blocks as you need. It can be really nice when you have a bigger belly to place it underneath the belly for that extra lift. Or, as always, you can just return to a seated position here and treat this final part of our practice like a meditation. Totally up to you. So, as you settle in, begin to notice your breath. How fast or slow has it become? How deep or shallow? Notice the quality of each breath on your inhales, the quality of each breath on your exhales. Noticing the rise and fall of your belly, the rise and fall of the chest. And seeing if you can allow the attention to gently rest here on the breath, being curious and simply noticing the movements of the breath moment to moment. Now, if your mind wanders off on a thinking adventure, it's okay. Celebrate the fact that you noticed you wander off and then come back to your breath, come back to the inhales and exhales. If it feels right for you, perhaps incorporating the following mantra to help you stay grounded and focused on the breath here. Inhale, I move. Exhale with intention. Inhale, I move. Exhale with intention. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way that best supports you for just a few more moments today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of our practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I'm watching the time and I respect yours, and I will be sure to let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here with your baby. To enjoy happiness doesn't mean we have no suffering. The art of happiness is also the art of suffering well. When we learn to acknowledge, embrace, and understand our suffering, we suffer much less. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Taking another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Move the arms and legs, gently waking your body up. And when it feels right for you, rolling onto one side, pausing there with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale as you make your way on up into a seated position, and we close out our practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, draw those shoulders forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. Hands come into a comfortable position, whether on the knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You can also bring them to heart center and close the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga and growing a human being. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for week 10 of this Yoga for Pregnancy series here on Wild Blue Yonder Media. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. That's how I reach more people and serve more people through the medium of yoga. And if you know another pregnant gal who is on their own journey, perhaps share this class with them so they too can feel great in their bodies. Additionally, I have a podcast, Wild Blue Yonder Meditations, and I've got pregnancy breathing practices and meditations on there, as well as non pregnancy stuff. So it's great for all of life. So make sure to check that out wherever you listen to podcasts to help bring you into the full mind, body, spirit nurturing phase that we're in right now. So thank you so much for joining me. Keep an eye out for week 11 coming up soon. And I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. And I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Bye.